Now, let me ask you, John, are either one of those options viable for the UK and the US now, or is it gone too big to where there's just too many cases we don't know about in too many areas?
No, absolutely they're both viable, Brian. We can't give in to this virus. If we give in to this virus, a lot of people are going to die. We have to fight. I really believe we have to fight this all the way. And the only way to do it is to use both. Now, what you can do is this top-down suppressing strategy. You can implement that straight away by edict. So my prime minister goes on telly and says, right, from tomorrow, no one goes out. So that's it, no one goes out. You can implement that straight away, that you can legally mandate people's behavior. And people will comply with that because they know it's necessary. You know, one of our sayings is healthcare is of the people, for the people, by the people. You know, we realize this is for us. And we realize that we are the ones that have to do it. So that can be mandated straight away. Now, a couple of days ago, our Prime Minister said, we're ordering millions of tests. And I thought, that's really good. He's got it now. He really understands that now, because that means we can attack it from the bottom as well. And we absolutely need both. So the thing is about this lockdown strategy, we need to implement this now because we can do it just by edict. And that gives us a few days or a couple of weeks to get millions of testing kits. So we can start this precise, more surgical resection of the infected cases out of society. And as well as that, there's going to be two sorts of testing, you probably realize. There's what we call antigen testing, which is testing for the presence of the virus itself. So you'll actually test for a person who's incubating or actually has the disease. And then there will be antibody testing, also a different type of test. Now, the antibody is the immune protein or the immunoglobulin that the body makes in response to the presence of the virus. And we think that will be in the blood for a year, probably 10 years, and probably for life. But we're not nearly always talking about years that's detectable for. So
what's the difference between the two tests? Why are those both important?
they're both important because the antigen test tells you who's actually got the disease. And that means you can isolate them straight away. And that means you can quarantine their contacts straight away. And it also means you can monitor them to see the condition and to see if they're going to deteriorate or, like most people, make a relatively mild course and a relatively quick recovery. So we need that clinical information to diagnose for them and those round about them. And of course, that's going to prevent the next door neighbour or their workmates contracting it. So we need to know that, but we also need to know the antibody test so we can see where this disease has been. Two real reasons for that. The first one is, suppose I get an antibody test and I am positive for COVID-19 antibodies. Now, that means I am almost certainly immune to this particular strain of virus. So I can go back to work. It's safe for me to work in an intensive care unit or an accident and emergency department, looking after people with the infection because I'm now immune to that infection.